Today's lesson is Lesson 18, Vegetable Farms. What do a crunchy salad, a creamy pile of potatoes, and a serving of wilted greens have in common? They are all vegetables, an important source of the vitamins and minerals we need in our diet. Eating vegetables that are a variety of different colors is very good for your health. Dark, leafy greens are a significant source of iron and calcium, as well as vitamins like A and C. Orange vegetables are high in several vital nutrients, and eating them regularly is beneficial to eye health. So far in this unit, you have learned that anything that holds a seed is a fruit, so tomatoes and cucumbers are not technically vegetables. You've also learned that any seed you eat that grows in a pod is a legume, so beans and peas are not vegetables. What exactly is a vegetable then? Any roots, leaves, or stems of a plant that you eat are considered vegetables. While the actual classification in botany may differ, in our lesson on fruit, we learned about the things we typically view as fruit. And in today's lesson, we are going to learn about the things that we generally consider vegetables. Do your parents make meals with lots of vegetables? Do you have a favorite vegetable side dish? Spinach, mushrooms, tomatoes, and peppers are a delicious addition to eggs in a morning omelet or quiche. Salads can serve as a standalone meal or a side dish. Hot cooked vegetables like steamed broccoli, roasted Brussels sprouts, cooked carrots, and caramelized onions are just a small sample of many of the tasty veggies that can fill your plate. Like most types of farm, vegetable farming is done on a large and small scale. Most of the vegetables that you purchase on your local grocery store are grown on large commercial farms. Vegetables that are sold at local farmers markets are often grown locally in small-scale operations called market gardens. Buying local produce when it's in season ensures that you're getting the freshest possible produce available while also supporting your local economy. Growing vegetables. Vegetables are grown in a variety of ways depending on their style. Some, like leafy green vegetables, squashes, stems, root vegetables, and legumes that are served fresh are grown in gardens all around the world. These healthy veggies provide much needed nutrients and nourishment. Leafy green vegetables are grown for their leaves. Vegetables like lettuce, spinach, collard greens, arugula, kale, and beet greens, Swiss chards, and endive are easy to grow plants with much health benefits. Most leafy greens have to be planted each year. Farmers often do succession plantings of leafy greens, so there's a constant supply of fresh greens throughout the growing season. Some of these plants are harvested more than once because they continue to grow new leaves. Others have only one harvest. Lettuce grown commercially, for example, does not usually grow back because the heads of lettuce are cut off below the surface, so the heads stay intact for shipping. Kale, which is classed as both a leafy green and as a cruciferous vegetable, survive for several years in climates that do not freeze hard, as long as individual leaves are harvested with care. A day in the life of a vegetable farmer. Meet Stan. Stan has always loved to work the ground. As a child, he enjoyed helping his mom in her garden. When he grew up, he knew that growing vegetables was a perfect job for him. Although Stan sometimes dreams of having a huge commercial farm, he loves the quiet of digging in the dirt by himself, so he has chosen to continue operating his few acres of land as a market garden. Today is Friday, Harvest Day, because the farmer's market is tomorrow. He heads down to the garden with his boxes and bins, ready to fill them up with fresh produce. First, he starts with the potatoes. They require the least amount of refrigeration and care after they are harvested. He moves on to beets and carrots and then beans and peas. He brushes the dirt off the root vegetables as best he can and lays them out on the dirt dries before he puts them in bins. Beans and peas are immediately put into boxes and prepared for market. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and melons are next, packed neatly into boxes so they can be stored in the refrigerated trailer for the night. Finally, when he has harvested everything else, he moves on to lettuce and other greens. These are the most delicate of the produce and must not be crushed. When he is done harvesting, he heads inside for a shower, excited about the opportunity to meet people at the market tomorrow. He enjoys visiting with his customers almost as much as he enjoys the solitude of the garden. Confucius Vegetables, also called Bracanus, includes things like cabbages, collard greens, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and Brussels sprouts. These vegetables are hardy. Most will grow well into the fall, even if there is some risk of frost. Confucius Vegetables attract the cabbage butterfly. While most butterflies are beneficial for gardens, this one is a pest. It usually leaves the leaves of these plants to lay its eggs, and the caterpillars eat the green veggies and destroy them. They are also difficult to get rid of once they have made their home because the caterpillars are the same color as the green stems of most of the vegetables in this category. Squash, such as pumpkins, spaghetti, zucchini, and butternut, all grow the same way on sprawling vines. Most are grown for the fruit itself, and they are filled with many seeds. Pumpkin is a unique squash. Both the flesh and the seeds are eaten, but they are consumed in different ways. The flesh is used to make delicious pies, cakes, and cookies, and the seeds are a common ingredient in granola, but might also be tossed in a salad or eaten alone as a snack. In some African nations, the fruit of the pumpkin is not eaten at all, and the leaves from the vine are enjoyed instead. Root vegetables grow below the ground. Some, like onions, beets, and carrots, are planted from seed. Others, like garlic, grow from a single section of another garlic bulb. Tubers, like potatoes, yams, and taro, are grown from a sprouting section of one of the vegetables. Most fruit vegetables are easy to grow and easy to store in a winter. While many vegetable crops are harvested carefully by hand, some root crops are successfully harvested using machines thanks to their hardy nature. Vegetables that grow as stems include such delights as asparagus, rhubarb, celery, and carobi. Some stem vegetables, like asparagus, are perennials that come up every year. Asparagus and rhubarb take several years to begin to produce, but once the plants begin bearing, they grow for years to come with increased vigor. Carobi and celery are planted from seed each year, although celery will grow year-round and continue to produce stalks if they are kept from freezing. Equipment. Growing vegetables on any scale requires some tools and equipment. A garden tiller, a rake, a shovel, and other hand tools are helpful when starting a vegetable garden. To operate a market garden, the farmers need bins and storage solutions for their produce so it can be harvested from the fields and brought to their customers. Different crops require different equipment as well. Peas and pole beans require a fence or support structure to grow up so they can be harvested more than once. Cucumber and various other melons are often grown on a trellis, as well as they don't take up much space in the garden. Some crustaceous vegetables may be grown under a light cover or treated with pesticides to ensure that the little green caterpillars are not part of future steamed vegetable side dish. Fertilizer in the farm of well-rotted compost or manure is added to soil to ensure the vegetables have all the nutrients they need to grow strong and healthy. On a larger scale farm, a tractor is necessary for working the ground and spreading fertilizer. For growing vegetables year-round, many commercial farms use greenhouses to control the growing environment. Greenhouses require proper irrigation as well as heater, fans, venting, and even lights to optimize growing conditions in climates that are warm enough to grow plants outdoors all year long or not warm enough. Some farmers use greenhouses to start plants early before they can survive outside, so their plants will be ready for harvest earlier. The hot button topic is most fresh vegetables are harvested by hand due to the delicate nature of the food. If they become bruised, many types of vegetable will spoil quickly, so they must be handled carefully. While commercial fruit farms often employ seasonal workers, some commercial vegetable farms employ full-time migrant workers. In some cases, they are undocumented migrants from Central America who work on farms in the United States. Anytime workers do not have legal documents to work in a country, they are not protected by the labor laws of the country and are at risk of being taken advantage of. Storage and processing. Different storage methods are needed for different types of vegetables. Some crops, like potatoes, carrots, and beets, can be successfully stored in a high humidity root cellar for up to a year. Other vegetables, like yams, squash, and onions, require a cool temperature without humidity for successful storage. Leafy greens, peanuts, and beans are some of the many veggies that simply don't last very long. They must be consumed quickly, frozen, or taken to the table. Vegetables are an important part of a healthy diet. One easy way to incorporate their nutritional goodness into your life is to have a platter of fresh veggies always ready in your fridge so you can grab a healthy snack any time of day. If you don't like to eat them on their own, you can always add a healthy dip like hummus, guacamole, or a dip made with sour cream, mayonnaise, herbs, and spices. If you begin to make this a habit in your home, your body will thank you. It will get essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber from these powerhouse foods. Many places in the world have a heavy emphasis on consuming vegetables. Mediterranean people focus on fresh and wholesome produce as a cornerstone of their cuisine. Many cultures have traditional veggie side dishes or salads that they serve at almost every meal. Salads are a fabulous way to incorporate fresh veggies because they are so many different types. They can be served with a variety of exciting sauces to vary the flavor. Cultures that live like a hunter-gatherer lifestyle focus on fresh veggies and fruits that are harvested from nature when they're in season. Historically, most vegetables have been eaten as a side dish in North America. Meat, a starch such as rice, pasta, potatoes, or grains, and a vegetable is a common way to serve a meal in Canada and the United States. In fact, sometimes we serve things like corn as a vegetable when in reality it is more of a starch than a vegetable. The standard diet of most American and Canadians has not always featured enough fresh foods like vegetables. However, today there is an increasing awareness of the importance of incorporating these fresh, nutritious foods into a healthy lifestyle. A newer trend is to substitute vegetables in a recipe that calls for a starch. Spiralized zucchini can take the place of spaghetti in a pasta dish. Some people use eggplant as a substitute for lasagna noodles, and cauliflower has gained popularity as a versatile vegetable that can be used like rice or mashed potatoes. While some of these ideas may sound a little bit out of the ordinary, they are a great example of the way cooks today are trying to incorporate more vegetables into their everyday life. Hands-on activity. Go to the grocery store and pick out vegetables to build a silly vegetable person or vehicle, or choose vegetables you have never eaten before and fill a recipe online to use them. This concludes Lesson 18 for today.